HarperCollins and Harper Audio present 72 Stories from the Baseball Collection of Geddy Lee by Geddy Lee with Daniel Richler. This is Geddy Lee. In memory of my good friend and baseball guru, J.W. Jones, thank you for all those years guiding me down the rabbit hole. Introduction. Baseball was in my bones long before music started to seriously divert my attention. As a kid in the 60s, I collected bubblegum cards with my school buddies, watched the New York Yankees beamed across the border from Buffalo TV stations, and took the streetcar downtown to watch the Maple Leafs, Toronto's AAA International League team. My first excursions independent of my parents. Then, after a decade-long sojourn during which I put everything I had into a fledgling band called Rush, I rediscovered my childhood passion while on the road. At the dawn of cable television, when the only things on during the day were soaps, quiz shows, infomercials, and, courtesy of the two superstations, WGN Chicago and TBS Atlanta, baseball. And by the end of the 70s, I had the fever again. 2 years after the Blue Jays were founded, I had my own season tickets. And if I was abroad on tour during the season, I'd do just about anything to keep on top of the game. I remember being on tour in the UK in 1981, playing at the Bingley Hall in Birmingham, and staying nearby in some crappy hotel. It was the night before our show, and I was hurting something bad to be missing Game 6 of the World Series. Jet-lagged and in desperation, I twiddled and twiddled the radio that was built into the wall, and finally heard crackling through the air Vin Scully's voice. Huzzah! I had found the Armed Forces Network broadcasting live from Los Angeles. I lay in bed in the dark, transported through the wee hours, listening in vivid detail to the event happening thousands of miles away. Pedro Guerrero stepping up to the plate and hitting a 3-run shot to win it for the Dodgers, a one-man show that capped a 9-2 victory and gave them their first championship title in 6 years. Scully was the greatest baseball broadcaster of all time, don't you think? His eloquence, he, having cut his teeth in the radio era, is a lost art. He had a poetic, even philosophical way of describing every nuance of the action, even without the back and forth of a color commentator beside him sometimes. Man, could he orate. He put you right there, like you had your own seat behind home plate. Through the 80s, then, I was absolutely mad for the game, devoting much of my spare time to learning the nuances of the gameplay and who the current players were, devouring reference books, biographies, and novels about the sport, especially after broadcasters had made references to historical moments, players, and plays that went over my head. But in 1988 or thereabouts, with a day off before our show at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, I was taking a walk around the Crown Plaza adjacent to our hotel when I came upon a shop called The Legacy. In the window and festooning the walls within were framed photographs, mostly Americana, of famous presidents and the like, every frame mounted with an engraved plate and a cutout of the featured individual's autograph. I went inside and rummaged through the raft of ephemera that was for sale. Hobby is an odd word to use when you consider how seriously we take autograph hunting, but that is what it's called. I was definitely a hobbyist in the obsessional sense. Once I'd get started, there'd be no finish. I had a friend who worked for the Blue Jays who, at the end of each season, used to present my brother and me with a gift of baseball signed by current American League and All-Star teams. A cool and thoughtful thing for him to do. But that was the totality of my collection then, and the idea of expanding it had never occurred to me. But in the legacy that day, I suddenly found myself captivated by the older photos.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?